4 councils in Warwickshire are mounting a legal challenge against the government's high-speed rail line. The authorities include North Warwickshire Borough, Stratford-on-Avon District, Warwickshire County Council and Warwick District Council as well, as part of an alliance to try and get the High Court to overturn the decision for the £33 billion rail line. They're objecting to the lack of consultation and the impact on the environment. Joe Rukin from Kenilworth is part of the Stop HS2 action group and joins us on the show. Morning, Joe.
Morning, Shane.
I'm guessing you'll be pleased by this news then.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We've been waiting for this for a few months now. The council's had 3 months from the start of the initial announcement, so they've got they've got about a fortnight left before submitting the papers. And they're absolutely right. The consultation was a complete sham. We've had letters from people from HS2 Limited who said all the consultation was about was, a few minor route alterations, which quite clearly wasn't the point of having the consultation. And as Justine Greening herself, the Transport Secretary, said with reference to the runway, the third runway at Heathrow, if ministers will not listen in Parliament, then they will have to listen in the courts.
The interesting thing, and you talk about consultation, and I remember you making the point, and we had the people on who were running the consultation, and we put that point to them on several occasions. I remember saying that to them, that, look, this is just a consultation about minor changes. But legally, the worry is, of course, that the court could see that is, it is a consultation, there was a process, whether part of that decision had been made or not, but it was still a consultation. If the courts find that, you'll have to agree to that then, won't you?
Yeah, unfortunately, that possibly be the case. It just depends on the judge you get on the day, unfortunately. The chief engineer, Andrew McNaughton, for HS2 Limited, he admitted that himself at a meeting we had at Warwickshire County Council. He said, quite honestly, the important thing now is that we are seen to have had a consultation. And the question is, have they jumped through the legal hoops correctly? And we would say that they haven't. HS2 Limited, they've displayed incompetence throughout this process. Obviously, there will be another legal challenge going this week because HS2 Limited didn't comply with the SEA regulations, which are basically saying that they should have completed environmental impact analysis on the route and the alternatives before making a decision. And they haven't even done an environmental analysis on the route that they've chosen. So that they've fallen flat on the face on that one. But we'll see how it goes in the courts. I mean,
to have these councils on side and, basically agreeing with what you've been saying from almost from day one when the plans were announced, this must be a huge help, not only to bolster the feeling and the fact that people will know about the campaign against it, but also the money side of it as well, because litigation or going to courts, it's expensive, isn't it?
Oh, it's incredibly expensive, and we are exceptionally grateful for all the councils, not just those in Warwickshire, but all the way from Staffordshire down to London, who have been supporting us from, as you say, from pretty much day one. It's been great that they've been on board, and of course, because you've got so many councils, it means that the amount that one is putting in is a lot less than it would need to be if it was just one council that is affected. So that's again been another great boon for us. You've managed to have this division of labour, division of funds between the councils, whereby they've all been able to chip in, and therefore, pay less than they would have done otherwise.
But do you think also? Do you think ultimately this might be a sticking point though, because times are hard for councils, they're under pressure with their budgets, and people might say, look, hang on a second, if they're not directly affected by the line, why are we spending all this money on fighting this route?
Well, the economics from the council's point of view is quite simple. That they will lose far more if HS2 goes ahead than what they will put in fighting it. Because just look at, for example, the very simple economic argument is that you've lost 20% of property values. Therefore, there's an argument, and people are putting the papers in already, that, hang on, we want a 20% reduction in our council tax because our property is worth 20% less. And the councils are going to lose out big time on that. Before you look at the loss of economic activity, the loss of tourism, all of those sorts of things that will go on. Just here, you look at the showground, we've already heard, behind the scenes that various organisations are pulling out of the National Agricultural Centre because it will be unsuitable for the activities that they put on there. Now, that's a loss of economic activity for this area. It's a loss of business rates. It's just a loss, full stop. Before you look at the inconvenience of, building the thing and the massive roadworks that you're going to have around this area for years, there is a big financial hit for these councils if HS2 goes ahead. So they are absolutely right to fight it, and it makes economic sense for them because they'll spend a little money, but they'll make a lot more back if we win.
Okay, Joe, we're going to leave it there. Thanks for joining us. I wonder whether now the momentum is stacking up against the government with HS2. As I've just had a call actually from Dave from Earlston. He said he doesn't understand why HS2 is going ahead when the report on HS1 said that it's underused, it's lost money, the projections were all wrong. Dave, you're absolutely right. I mean, you do kind of wonder if you're going along on the same terms, on the same basis. So that report's come out. That's going to slow things down, presumably. Now, amongst these 15 local authorities, they've got a £51 million alliance against the government now. The Secretary of State for Transport announced a decision to go forward with this £33 billion rail link back in January. We'll see exactly how committed they are to having this line through parts of our area, through Warwickshire.